Hello everyone, welcome to the fifth video of Docker series. I'm very glad that you are here and you choose to be the expert. In this video, we'll understand about Dockerfile, we'll understand the basic keyword that is used writing a Dockerfile, and once we understand the keyword, in our next video, we'll deploy one application where we'll write a Dockerfile and we'll build that image and then we'll run the container using that Dockerfile. So, after watching this video, you should have a fair understanding of what a Docker file looks like and what are some of the keywords that are actually used while writing a Docker file. And without wasting any time, let us get started. In this video, we'll start by first understanding about Dockerfile, and in our next video, we will deploy one application uh, where we'll write a Docker file. And in the very beginning of this video, I just want to mention to you, please, if you do not understand Docker file or if you think it's very complex, that is false. That is completely not true, which I thought in the beginning as well. It's very simple, and there are a lot of resources you can use online where you can replicate those information and deploy your application. And we will see that in our next video. So let us first try to understand what Dockerfile is. And I have actually shared, I'm actually here in this official documentation because this is where you should be referring. Okay, this has all the information we need, and I also look into the Dockerfile documentation all the time. So Dockerfile is basically a very simple text file, as it's also mentioned here. And there are a couple of things we need to understand. First, it works, the Docker file actually works in order. Okay, so all of the command run in order. So you need to make sure that the command are written down in the correct order. And the other thing is the way it writes, it's a simple text file, so it's instruction and arguments like it's showing here. So that is one another thing you want to make sure you understand. So let us understand some of the keyword, like some of the very common keyword that you will need to understand to write a Docker file. So the first thing I want you to understand, let's go down. So the from command. So from is the first keyword that you will be using in any of the Docker file. So from basically pulls the base image, and we will make modification to this base image, and then we'll create a custom image from it. So this is the first thing we will have in our Docker file. And if I show you one example here, this is one example of a Docker file. You see the first thing is from. So it's pulling this Debian image, this bullseye slim image. So this is the first keyword that is there in every Docker file. So this is one command. So I have put a list of notes here, and I'll share this in my repo. So this is the first thing. So from. And the second one we'll very commonly use is the run command. And run is very simple. Again, it's just running any Linux command that you run. You can put this inside the run. So if you see here, um, as an example, if we go down, so uh, run will have something like run remove this file, echo command, and mount command. So any Linux command you can put in the run. So this is like, for example, installing, uninstalling, or upgrading package. So run pip install AWS CLI. So everything that goes in the run command. So this is another command that we will be using. So I have put down the run. So in this case, this is pulling from base Ubuntu image, and we are updating. We're just doing apt-get update, and then apt-get install yes curl. So this is another command. And the third command that we want to know is the copy command. So copy, and copy actually has an analogous another command which is called copy and add command. So if I show you here, so copy and add. So copy and add are pretty similar. The only difference being add will actually help you. Um, so copy and add will basically copy file from the host machine to your Docker container. So that is the job of both copy and add. But one additional feature of add is that add will also be able to copy the tar file. And what is a tar file? I'm pretty sure you have seen tar file sometimes in your life. It's just an archive file with a .tar extension. So we need to just whenever we read a tar file, we just need to extract files from the zipped tar file, right? So that's where add command will work. So that's the only difference between add and copy. So I have put there in the note. So basically add and copy will do the same thing. It will be copying the file from source to target, but just add will make this additional use of it. Will use the it can also copy the tar file. Copy cannot do that. So that's the difference between uh, add and copy. And the next one that is very similar. So this is the add and copy. And now if I go, the next one is the um, command. So command has something analogous, that is the entry point. So entry point and command, basically these are the command that will run once the container is up and running. And let's find cmd. Let's see what. Okay, so you can use entry point or command. Okay, so entry point has this form. So if you see here, uh, uh, executable parameters, you will set the parameter 1, parameter 2, and the executable. So this is the format of executables. Okay, so you can use either entry point or cmd. So if in this example, if you see here, so let's do cmd. If you see, this is running an nginx image, and then these are the parameters, and it also has an entry point. So what's the difference between entry point and command? So the only difference in entry point and command is command will get executed upon the launch of a container, but you can always replace this command. You can override this command with something on the runtime. So let's say there might be some use case where you might need to change the command. So in that case, if you use cmd, you can override this command while the container is up and running. But entry point, once it's there in your Docker file, you cannot change that. It will run for sure, and there is no way to override this. So entry point in a way is a little bit less flexible, versus cmd is a little more flexible, where you can override that command. So these two, copy, add, and command and entry point, these are like the analogous command that you will see in your Docker file. So you can either use copy or add, or you can use command, or you can use entry point. And the next one is the label keyword. So the label keyword is just for the metadata. So how you set your metadata, this is how you can use the label. And the other one, other very important, and this is quite important, is the env keyword. So what it does is, so in this example, this package 1 is set as nginx, package 2 is set as ubuntu, right? So this is setting the variable package 1 as nginx, package 2 as ubuntu, and I can reference this environment variable in my run command. So if you see, run apt-get install, and instead of nginx I mention package 1 and -y. So I'm referencing the package 1 instead of the nginx directly. So this keyword will help you manage your variable, and this can be very helpful. And the other one that is again common is the expose, and you already know the expose. It's just exposing the port when the container is up and running. So in this case, it's 8080. And the final one is the work dir. So work dir is basically just like in the Linux, when you do the make directory, when you make a directory, it will simply use the work dir command. So let's see here in the documentation, work dir. Yep, so work dir instruction sets the working directory for any run command entry point. So this will set the working directory for us. So whenever we are running our application, we will set the work directory. And in our example, actually, we will make use of this command, and we will deploy one application. So, these are some of the basic commands, not commands, sorry. These are the keywords that you will see in the Docker file. And another thing I just want to quickly mention is the way you, if you do um, dash. So this is how you comment. Okay, so this is how we'll comment our Docker file. And we'll start with a from. This is our base image, and we will have the run command, we'll have the copy command, we'll have this. Actually, these actually go in almost most of the cases. This will be at the end. Okay, so ordering is important, as I mentioned you in the beginning. So let me put this one. So first we will do this one, and maybe the second order could be, let's do this one. So I'll show you a general order. So what happens is first we will have the base image, and then we will have the environment variable where we will set our variable, and then we'll set the working directory. Then we'll do the run command, we'll do the copy command, and actually control. So let me, and then we'll also have like the metadata information in the beginning. So from, we'll have the label, we'll set the variable, we'll set the working directory, we'll run our command, we'll copy our file, and then we'll expose a certain port, and then we will do the uh, command. So once the container is up and running, this is the engine that will be running. So this will mostly be at the end of the documentation. So this is one basic like pseudo code. Let's say this is a pseudo code for our Docker file, and we will now implement with the same fashion, with similar keyword, we will deploy one application using a Docker file. So let us go ahead and do that in our next video. Alright, so in this video we understood the basic concept of a Docker file, and in the next video we'll deploy application writing the Docker file and utilizing the same concept that we learned in this video, and it will make more sense to you. And always please make a habit of going into the documentation, checking, reading the documentation, because it has solution to most of the problem you're gonna face in your upcoming days. And if you like my video, please give me that motivation boost by hitting that like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate that. All right. See you in my next video. Thank you.